Hey guys, Ashley here, also known as the Asian fan. I'm here today with a new video. I did my last two videos that I promised, and I'm going to take a break from doing wrestling videos to get back into my original stuff, and that is my teen drama stuff. I have not done a teen drama video in a long time, but those two wrestling videos are still coming up about the bloodline and the part two of wrestling hypocrisy that I've been thinking about. So today I'm going to be reviewing One Tree Hill seasons 1 and 2. I recently just got done watching both of these seasons, and I want to give it like a really deep dive review. Something that I never done. I never reviewed a show. Like I don't often do reviews on this channel, so I'm gonna do that. And I'm gonna review Gossip Girl season 1 too because I just got done watching that. So I'm gonna review that too. But that's gonna be a different video. I'm gonna review just One Tree Hill seasons 1 and 2 for now. Okay, so season one of One Tree Hill. For those who don't know, One Tree Hill is a teen drama show. It came out in '03. It's been 19 years the first since the pilot, and it's honestly the best teen drama show ever. It's such a good show. It's my favorite show. Like this is really a good show, and this I've been dying to talk about One Tree Hill, and this is just the perfect time to talk about it. And season one is such a great season. Like an amazing, fantastic, well put, consistent season. Like this is one of the best season ones. This is one of the best first seasons that I've ever seen for a TV show. Like the way that it was just everything was written consistently. All the characters had a purpose. Was just easily some of the amazing writing I've ever seen. And the breakout character in this season, honestly, was Lucas. I mean, you'd be a fool to say that it wasn't Lucas. Like, Lucas is such a great character. I don't care what anyone says. I know he gets a lot of hate, which I don't understand, but that might be another video for a different time about Lucas. Like, there's so many things about him on, like, Instagram fan pages and Wretched and, like, YouTube. Like, I cannot believe Miss Mojo made, like, 3 videos about him. And, like, the things that they put on the list, I didn't really agree with. I just love Lucas. I'm Lucas Scott Mark. I don't care. I love Lucas. I think he's an amazing character. He's a great friend. He's a great boyfriend, and he's a great husband. I don't care what any of you guys say. Lucas was easily the best character in season one. I absolutely love Lucas. I feel like every time I look at him and I hear from him, he is just such a great character. He honestly was the glue that held this show together. And the day that he left the series, you can honestly tell they were kind of struggling to find that new glue to keep the show together because he honestly was the glue. I don't want to take the credit away from any other actors or any other characters, but Lucas was easily the glue that held that show together for all those 5 years that he was there. Actually, 6. But yeah, Lucas was the best character in this season. Dan was an amazing villain this season. He honestly carried. He did an amazing job as a villain. He did a great job making me hate him, just making me just want to punch him through the TV. Like he was just such an annoying villain. Like he was just, he was so annoying. My favorite storyline from this season, and which is it might sound like a cliche, is probably the love triangle. I honestly look watching it back, it still holds up after 19 years on how this whole Lathan versus Brooke is, who's Lucas going to choose, who's the best girl for Lucas, is just such. It was really great. It had amazing writing for all the time they built it up, and it paid off really well. The build up to Nathan and Haley is still to this day holds up. It's honestly one of the most genuine, not too much, not crazy build ups for a love story I've ever seen. It's honestly just two teens who are just deeply in love, just trying to make it through together, making each other better people. And those are the kind of love stories that I love. I don't like love stories that are unrealistic or anything like that. Like Nathan and Haley, they were it. They had fiery ass chemistry from day one, and their storyline was really good to me. Their build up, them being together was amazing. Same thing, Lucas and Peyton. They had fiery ass chemistry from the first episode, and you can tell that they were gonna be it. I love him. Actually, sorry. I like him and Brooke together. I just don't love them together. Like him and Lucas and Brooke, they have chemistry. They have You know what? I'll say they have fire chemistry too because honestly, when they're together, I feel something. I don't think that it's awkward or weird they're together. I just don't think they were meant to be. And I already made a video about this, about them. So please watch it because I'm not going to go into it in this video. So just watch it about my opinion on them being a couple. But yeah, like all the other characters too did a great job. Deb, Keith, ooh, especially Keith. Keith was a good character. Whitey, I don't think I'm forgetting anyone else. Haley and Nathan, like the one thing that I really love about season one is that it's so hard, even though I said the best storylines, it's so hard to say what storyline was the best because like season one just gravitates you in different directions of everything. Like Lucas not knowing that his mom didn't want nothing to do with Dan and Dan wanted to be involved. Like that was interesting. Everything about the whole Lucas, Nathan, and Dan storyline was really good. Lucas joined the basketball team. That was great. The stuff, just the basketball addiction to the show was just really, really good. Period. I thought that was such a good thing to have a sports feel in a teen drama show. And now you see other shows trying to copy and paste what One Tree Hill did. I thought that was a great added to the show. I honestly love the quotes and Lucas him narrating other authors or other poetry writers. Like honestly, just love that addiction. I'm sorry, I said addiction to the show. I think that's really interesting to see someone just quote other people about things that they've done or just things that make you think about yourself on what connects you most to these characters. And that's another thing too with One Tree Hill that I really love is that all the characters in their way, they're all relatable. And you don't really see that a lot in other teen drama shows or in other shows, period. You don't really see those type of characters that you just connect with on a emotional gravitation level. Like, oh my gosh, I know so many guys like Lucas. I know so many guys like Brooke. I know so many girls like Peyton. Like I've seen relationships like Nathan and Haley before. I've seen love triangles like Lucas, Brooke, and Peyton. I've seen that, and it's just crazy that how much of this stuff with them is just so relatable. And I really love season one for that. I think season one gets an A plus because season one was really good, and I wish I'm a 03 kid, so I'm actually 19. So that's why One Tree Hill is just such a special place in my heart because it's been 19 years and I am 19. Um, One Tree Hill gets an A plus because this show really, really did what the teen drama shows could not do, and that's make a consistent show with consistent storylines, consistent relatable characters, and realistic situations. So let's move on. Season one gets an A plus. On to season two. Now, this might get confusing to some people because in my One Tree Hill seasons ranking, I think I ranked season two like my top three season. And you know what? I'm not gonna change it. I do think I think season two deserves to be there because I think at the very beginning of One Tree Hill's run, I honestly think the show was at its best. Like seasons 1 through 6 was when the show was really, really good. Season 7, 8, and 9 is when I kind of just wanted to like stop watching, but it didn't have the Walking Dead effect on me where I could just completely cut out of my life completely. Like no, I still watched the show. I just was not feeling the direction that it was going in. Now season 2, I've always always loved this season, but after watching it, not again, but for like the billionth time, there are some things that I just did not agree with. There are some character directions, character development that I just wasn't quite understanding. So let's get into it. So I told you who the best character was in season one. I think the character that stood out to me in this season, and there's honestly a few. Honestly, it's kind of hard to say one. I think for season one, you could honestly tell that it was Lucas, but you could probably go with other characters. But Lucas was the character in season one. Like, he had the most storylines, he had the most screen time, and you could tell it was about him. I think this season could go as a bunch. It could go for Brooke, Haley, Nathan, um, Jake. Like, I think those characters did a really good job in season two. Like I really feel like those were the characters they gave so much more to. Peyton, like I wouldn't say she was a standout character, even though I love Peyton, but she did play a really big role in season two with some of the storylines that were happening. So season two, there are some things that I just did not quite understand why it had to be in this season. Like Anna and Felix, why were they characters in this season? Their entire existence is just what the fuck to me. Um, I don't like either one of them, and I feel like them being added to season two did nothing for it. Did nothing. Um, Lucas moving in when Dan was really left a bad taste in my mouth because I did not like it. And then knowing, and then when you watch the last episode and you hear Dan explain everything, it kind of makes you feel like so him moving in with Dan was completely, utterly pointless. And it was just a waste of time. It didn't need to happen. He didn't move in with Dan to have Dan not tell his mom about what was going on with Lucas. And you know, it might be spoiled because this show is 19 years old, so I'm going to say some things you probably guys don't know. Lucas has a heart, oh my god, I can't, he has a heart something. I forgot what they called it. But he has a heart condition, and Dan knew about it, and Dan is paying for his medication because his mom doesn't know. So he basically blackmailed Lucas into moving again with him. So he won't. So he'll leave Keith and the girl alone. I forgot her name. Ray Muno's character, Jules. That's her name. He'll leave them alone. So he had Lucas. He blackmailed Lucas into moving in with him, and it was just. I don't really think we need to see Lucas move in with him. I just would have been perfectly fine with him blackmailing Lucas about the heart condition and Lucas just holding the thing over Dan's head that he can tell Keith and Jules anytime about Dan's master plan and it could ruin Dan's master plan. Like I think why can't they just go with that storyline instead of having Lucas just move in with him? What else? Brooke going out with Felix was stupid. I feel like on some extent that was Brooke taking two steps back from where she was in season one with Lucas. Like you're dating a guy that you having a fling with, like Brooke, that's two steps back from where you were in season one. Honestly. I think Lucas's feelings for Brooke really came out of thin air. Like it's crazy to me that they didn't have no conversations until episode 9, I believe, of the homecoming dance. They had no interactions, and then all of a sudden they had one conversation, and he has feelings for her again. Like I just thought that this came out of thin air. Like I would have had loved they would have if they were at least talking to each other, not avoiding each other, and then he starts having feelings for her again. But for him to just randomly have feelings for her, I did not like that. There were no Brooks and Peyton scenes in season two. Like the writers literally kept them away from each other, and I did not understand why. Um, I didn't like that at all. Karen was the worst character in this season. Literally, she was just so annoying. Her and Andy's storyline was really unnecessary, and I just didn't understand. She was like the worst character in this season for me, like worse than Dan, and he's always the worst. But she was worse than Dan. Like she was just really annoying and like super duper aggressive all the time, and like I didn't understand where all the hostility was coming from with her. But other than that, I think those are my only gripes with season two. I don't really have much bigger problems. I know like people said they didn't like the idea that basketball was not in the show in season two. I honestly love the fact that there was no basketball. We got to focus more on the characters and their journeys, and I really love that. I thought that was a good thing to add. That there's no basketball. We're going to focus more on the characters and what they do when there's no sports. So I thought that was interesting. So season two gets I would say it gets a B plus because it had its moments. Like some episodes were like really really boring. It had its moments, but it doesn't compare to season one. I think I ranked it higher than season one. I don't remember, but season two gets a B plus definitely because it's still good. It's still good even though it had its quirks. It was still good. So those are my seasons 1 and 2 review for One Tree Hill. Thanks for listening and look out for the Gossip Girl review.